Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today is going to be a fun little process. We're going to do another graffiti style canvas, but this time around we're going to combine retro wave, synth wave, old school 80s art with a graffiti. So that's going to be a fun process, and we're going to do a large canvas. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's jump right into it. So we're going to do a synth wave 80s style type of art, and we're going to make it a graffiti style at the same time, so that'll be kind of interesting to mix those things together. I guess they are both from the 80s, so it should work properly. So let's go ahead and get everything ready to go. So we're gonna paint everything black and then go from there. So right now I'm finding the center of the canvas, and I'm splitting the canvas in half. The top's going to be the sky, and the bottom's going to be I guess the landscape or horizon. So I'm going to do that laser synth wave look at the bottom. So right now I'm applying a lot of base coat of white. This way I can go back and color them with color. I don't want to make a huge sun, so I'm only doing half of it, but I want to make it kind of big so it really stands out against the text that we're going to be adding on top of that. In this project I'm using a lot of white, and airbrush paint tends to be a little bit expensive, so what I did is I bought cheap acrylic paint, and I just water it down to make it look like milk, and then you're able to shoot it with the airbrush. So when I'm doing a lot of base coat and stuff like that, I use that process or that acrylic paint first before I use any other paint, because otherwise it gets too expensive. So I'm going to be coloring the bottom in blue, and then the top is going to be the sun, so that's going to have the sun colors. And I'll come back and add some stencils over that and paint everything in black, so to make everything look nice and sharp. Alright, the sun is ready to go, so I added a little bit of pink there on the bottom, followed by a little bit of orange, and obviously I try to make it look like a sun. So I have my stencil here, and I'm applying that over it. It's a little bit tough to get that stencil on there because it doesn't stick, but you can always use a little bit of heat, and it should stay on there. So just be patient with it, and just follow the process, and you should be able to stick that on there. And of course tonight was kind of cold, so the glue on the vinyl got hard quicker, so it was difficult for me to keep it on the canvas there. So let's go ahead and spray around the sun and get everything nice and black. I found this water-based spray can, which I thought it was interesting, and since I'm spraying indoors and it's just a canvas, I'm going to be using this and testing this out, because I've never used it before, so I want to see how it works. So it was about $10 at the store. Everything is nice and covered, and the stencil is on there. So I just want to make sure I'm shooting it kind of straight into the stencil and not below it or underneath it. This way I don't get any black paint where I don't want it. So just making sure, keeping everything nice and everyone corresponds to there. So I'm doing 2 different coats just to make sure I cover everything that needs to be covered. All right, so now we're moving to the bottom of the canvas there, and this is going to be a little bit of a tedious process because I have to cut all these vinyl strips and lay them as straight as I can, and then we're going to come back with a little bit of black and cover them again, just like we did the top there. So let's go ahead and finish that and see what we can come up with. Alright, so now that the black is drying a little bit, I'm going to come back with a little bit of a different color blue and applying a little bit of glow to those lines, and of course a little bit of a glow under there to represent the sun. And I'm adding some vertical lines going up and down to make it look like that floor is glass. So let's go ahead and take off the masking there and see what that looks like. Alright, so far so good. It's looking pretty good. So I'm just gonna cover the bottom now, and I had a little bit of overspray there, so I'm just gonna clean that up. And so I'm gonna be putting some mountains on there, which later on I realized that most of the stuff is gonna get covered anyway, so might have not needed it, but it was kind of like a fun process for me to be able to see if it was gonna work or not, and just playing around with the different size papers there. So yeah, let's go ahead and spray the sky and make that really stand out. So again, we're going with this neon synthwave 80s retro look, and you know, there's a lot of blues, a lot of pinks, and a lot of oranges on there. So I'm gonna do the sky in a little bit of pink, move to a little bit of orange, and then apply some bluish on the top, and make it look kind of digital, I guess, if you will. So I need to add stars on there, but the toothbrush that I normally use for other stuff, I think it's going to be too small for this project. This canvas is kind of big, so what I ended up doing was putting paint inside of a spray bottle and water it down so it looks like milk, and then I'm spraying that white through the spray bottle, so you can see how quickly you can make stars, especially if you have a large area that you need to cover. All right, so far so good. Everything's looking good. We did spend a little bit of extra time working on the background, but of course that is it does house the whole theme of synthwave, so we gotta take the time to actually put it on there. So let's go ahead and work on the graffiti name, and right now I'm using a little bit of chalk and writing down the letters and trying to find exactly where they fit on the canvas, and making sure obviously all the letters are nice and spaced out. So I'm doing that first, and then I'm gonna come back with the airbrush and roughly lay down each of those letters. So I found out that to make this process a little bit quicker, I sketch out the letters and then make them thicker and thicker with each pass. And then once I have a pretty good thickness that I think the letters are, you know, will look nice, I'll find the edges and I'll add styling to it. So you can see that's what I'm doing now. And it's you know, obviously it takes a little bit of a process, so you can keep going back and forth until you find all the edges and you get the styling correctly on there. So yeah, it's a little bit of a process, but I found out that this is the fastest way for me to be able to do this. So the synthwave retro look always has like these letters that are chrome, so we're gonna try to replicate that, and essentially what it is reflection. So we're gonna do a horizon on the bottom, and then the top's gonna be a little bit of a sky, so we'll add a little bit of blue there on the top. So and of course everything comes together once you add the black and the highlights. So let's go ahead and do that now, and of course I'm going to be using a brush. This way I can get nice sharp and black lines. So let's go ahead and do that, and just I keep adding black, and towards the end, once I have a good thickness of the black, I add a secondary or third black drop shadow. So this way it makes it look a little bit more 3D. Man, and the more I work on this, I wish I had this painting for myself, because it's coming out really nice, and I really like the way the whole synthwave retro look is coming out. So fortunately it needs to go out and we need to finish it, so it's gonna suck. So hopefully whoever gets this is going to enjoy it. Alright guys, we're coming to the end, and all we gotta do is add some highlights inside the letters and a little bit outside to make everything pop against the background. So let me know what you guys think of this process in this particular project in the comments below. And yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying all these videos. Alright, and this project is done. All we gotta do is sign it and it's ready to go. Alright, this game room is gonna be sick with this painting. I think it came out pretty nice, and once you see it, I mean, the camera doesn't do it justice. The colors really stand out because I did use fluorescent paint. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and if you guys are liking these videos. Alright, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I had fun working on this particular project, and don't forget I'm giving away a pair of Air Force Ones. All you gotta do is follow the link in the description below, which will take you to another video, and then just leave a comment there, and don't forget to subscribe. And then once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'll be able to give away those Air Force Ones. So fully customizable, so don't forget to subscribe and enter your name down in the comments. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy for now. Bye bye.